Welcome back to the Fan Speak Network and a fun series we're doing now that best ball summer is officially here. The NFL draft is over, best ball summer is officially here, and it's time to talk rookies and landing spots. So these are the rookies that we are targeting most in BBM 6, and of course, all the other many wonderful best ball tournaments that Underdog has available. And while we're definitely targeting them now as contests open, we're likely going to target a lot of these rookies throughout the summer unless draft prices get too wildly out of control. But these are the rookies we like most. So we have a series going on. You'll see probably one a day all this week and weekend and probably through next week. And then we'll go through position by position of the rookies and really go into more details. So lots of details of uploaded shows about these rookies. This series that you'll see pretty much daily is kind of our favorite rookies to target right now. And this one is our third one taped. It's running back Kaleb Johnson from Iowa, who landed with the Pittsburgh Steelers in round 3 of the NFL draft, has the right draft capital, the perfect landing spot, in our opinion, and of course, is a running back that you liked pre-draft. So Steve, tell me why we are targeting him. That's the quick summary. Now give us the longer one.
Yeah, Kaleb Johnson is a good size, bigger physical back, 220 plus pounds from Iowa, ran a lot of zone at Iowa, and that's exactly what Arthur Smith likes to do for the Steelers. So there's a nice scheme fit here. Like you said, really good draft capital, 3rd round. I think he was the 6th running back taken in the draft, if I'm not mistaken. So that's exactly what we're looking for. And the hole is there, filled, left by Najee Harris leaving. So we'll get to that more in a second. But Kaleb Johnson had a breakout year at Iowa. He was kind of injured the year before, but was able to play full time. Had, I believe, like 1,400 plus rushing yards, a lot of touchdowns, caught the ball well, not a ton of opportunities, but at least functional enough to not need to be taken off the field in every passing situation. Okay, it was a run blocker, or I'm sorry, pass blocking back. So he should be able to stick on the field at least enough for our purposes. And I think he is a back that some people question because he didn't have as strong of a combine. But we got to keep in mind, particularly with zone schemes and bigger backs, we don't care so much about the long 40 time. Though he had plenty of breakaway runs in college, what we care about is the ability to change directions, hit the hole, pick up the yards that are definitely blocked for, and then some. And that's what Kaleb Johnson does extremely well. Just play after play, drive after drive. He can be that workhorse running back.
Yeah, and obviously we know Jaylen Warren is there, but we've seen this before with Jaylen Warren, and there are people in the best ball community that want to make Jaylen Warren, like a feature back. I don't know that the Steelers want Jaylen Warren to be a feature back, and it really doesn't matter what we as the drafter think. It matters what the coaches think, and that's why we were kind of always on the Najee side of volume, because he was getting the volume. And I'm going to pull this up from Underdog and then show kind of the price comparison of where we think Kaleb Johnson should go around. But if you look at and bringing up, the ADPs for running backs and just highlighting Najee Harris, look at his workload. This column is attempts and then yards and then touchdowns. For the last 4 years with the Steelers, we know Najee has stayed healthy. He's gotten 250 to 300 carries, over 1,000 to 1,200 yards, and 6 to 8 touchdowns every single year. We think this is going to be he had the 1A to the 1B for Jaylen Warren role. We think it's going to be the same thing with Kaleb Johnson. The Kaleb Johnson is going to be the workhorse 1A role to Warren's 1B role. And if you're talking this type of volume, and I'm talking 250 plus carries, that, they're running their offensive line should be better this year. If it can stay healthy, he could even improve on these numbers. And that's really exciting, especially where you're getting him. Any thoughts on that before I compare the prices, Steve?
Yeah. And to your point, these last 3 years, Warren has been there. Warren has been that thorn in his side, and it hasn't mattered. 250 plus carries every single year, 6 to 8 touchdowns. While the passing volume wasn't what he did his rookie year, and that's why his total points went down, but it's still solid, 29 to 41 receptions, an average of like 210 yards among those 3 years. And sure, receiving touchdowns for running backs just naturally are fluky.
Yeah.
So he only had the 1 year with 3, but that could easily spike the same. He had almost the same number of catches this year as that year, and he had 0. So that's such a fluky thing. But we're talking about the opportunity that he will have, the number of total touches that he will have. And
Mm-hmm.
the Steelers feel very confident that this type of role should get almost 300 touches.
Yeah.
We've seen that the last 3 years, or just over in some cases. So, yeah, I think that's what we're looking for. And that's the other thing is, for as much as people talk about Najee being bad, these last 3 years, 181 to 203 fantasy points, we will take that pretty much every time. If you tell me Caleb Johnson's gained 180 fantasy points, that is an absolute smash.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And then we're also getting the good Coach Speak, shout out to Coach Speak Index, who we love. I saw in there like a clip from, obviously post-draft presser, and, Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan are basically like, this is a Sunday NFL running back. He plays like a workhorse running back. I mean, these aren't exact words, but these are kind of basically what they're saying. Is they obviously were impressed with his tape, think he's a Sunday running back, and think he can handle volume. They made that pretty clear that he can handle volume, basically can be a workhorse 1A, if you want to call it, running back. And so again, if he gets this Najee volume, that is just, like you said, an absolute smash where we're getting him. Now let's talk where we're getting him. So he kind of finished the big board season. Let me scroll down. Oh yeah. Sorry. He finished the big board season ADP 81. So he's naturally already going up, but he's not like flying up as much as some of the other ones. And obviously he needs to jump guys like Tyrone Tracy and Najee Harris, who, obviously now have more competition. But even in this range with, the other rookies like Junkins and, Travion Henderson, and I just RJ Harvey. Yes, we just did an RJ Harvey episode. Those three rookies who also got very good draft capital. He can be around them, and he can be around these other, honestly, these other vets like David Montgomery and James Conner. So seeing this whole entire ADP list of current running back prices, because again, RJ Harvey is just screaming up the board. We talked about him. We like him around ADP 60 is where we like him. But if you're getting Caleb Johnson, like in between 70 and 80, take it, because he should be going higher. And quite honestly, I'm comfortable just like Harvey in this like 60 to 70 range. Where do you see it?
Yeah, I see it the same. I honestly think you kind of swap out where, Najee should be going later. So it's not a 1-for-1 swap, but right there, like, I like Kamara more. Kamara's higher upside. But as we just said, if you tell me he's gained 180 plus points, that's right in line with the projections of Kamara, Montgomery, Connor, that whole range.
Yeah.
So pick your poison, who you like the most. And obviously right now, some of those offenses like Detroit and Arizona are better. Saints probably not, but so it depends on what you like and what your kind of build is and what you're totally looking for. But right in this mid 60s, I am well on board for Caleb Johnson, because I do think we know what this kind of role is. As you also mentioned, Steelers offensive line, even losing Dan Moore, they were very banged up last year, extremely banged up. They should be healthier. They had a lot of young guys, so another year experience. Could be a much better group this year. We do need to see what their quarterback situation is and just how functional this offense can be. Arthur Smith in the past, though, has run really positive, run favorable offenses. And I think Warren will still have his value spot as well, but Caleb Johnson is the back you should be targeting in this offense, and I do think it should be in this mid-60 range.
Yeah, ironically, it kind of should be exactly where Najee Harris landed at the end of big board season, or where his ADP says now. Like that mid-60s is where like we're really comfortable taking Caleb Johnson. And then, of course, we'll stay fluid with rankings. Rankings will be available through the FanSpeak Basketball subscription all summer long, so we'll stay fluid with rankings, but we really feel as these contests start that, again, if you're able to get him in the 70s or early 80s, take Caleb Johnson. But if we're fine taking him basically in this mid 60s range. I think it's a perfect summary and kind of just fits so perfectly to speak to, he should have Najee Harris's volume, and we want to take him kind of in that Najee Harris price in the mid 60s. I think that's just a good way to frame it. Any final thoughts, Steve?
I think, like you mentioned, I think especially compared to some of the other rookies, like even Junkins and Harvey and Henderson, they seem to be steaming up a little higher right now.
Yeah.
So these first couple of weeks, Caleb Johnson could end up being the best value at. Yeah. So I will be taking a lot of them early, but even if he starts to solidify in that early 60s range, that's where I'm very comfortable taking him going forward. And hopefully we do get better news with the Steelers quarterback situation and just total offensive situation. But these four or five rookies, the higher end ones as well, but it's a good range for these running backs and some of the vets we mentioned as well. But this is a great spot with a lot of value and upside.
Yeah, no, we talked about it in the RJ Harvey show. Check that out if you haven't watched it yet. Again, we have a whole rookie series that will, keep coming on the Fanspeak network. But we talked about the RJ Harvey one. This is a sweet spot of these running backs, these rookie running backs, the four. And I'm still finalizing my rankings. But Junkins, Henderson, Harvey, Kaleb Johnson, to me, they're very close. But that's a sweet spot. David Montgomery, James Conner, Alvin Kamara, there's a Kenneth Walker at the top of it. Kind of there's a lot to like there, from 50 to 70, essentially 50 to 70 plus. So there's a lot of running back value, and I'm definitely is probably early and quite often. And most likely if these running back prices settle there, that's going to be a major sweet spot, no matter what kind of draft strategy I'm drafting. If it's, more of a double anchor or something or more robust, I'd like to hit this area. If it's 0 RB, maybe you start there, but there's definitely some options here, and I definitely want to take advantage of it now. And quite honestly, most likely all draft season. But just out of curiosity, and then you mentioned the quarterback situation. Steelers didn't draft a quarterback till Will Howard in the 6th round. It feels like it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, and if they can't get Aaron Rodgers, they'd do anything to get Kirk Cousins. Because they're kind of, they're not just going to roll Mason Rudolph or Will Howard is the point. So I feel good about the overall team, value of the offense. And no, I'm really, really excited to draft plenty of Kaleb Johnson. We just did in our sibling showdown draft that we did this, here on Monday. So this has been fun, Steve. Draft Kaleb Johnson. Look for this rookie series. Look for tons of great content on the Fanspeak network, both live drafts, strategy episodes, short episodes like this, shorts. We got a lot of best ball fun content coming your way every single weekday and all summer long. So we appreciate you. For Steve, I'm Meg, and we will see you next time.